some of our fondest trips that we've had is going on a trip for a meeting, and well, it's hard to get babysitters, so the girls would come with us, and I would be at the meetings, and Leslie would be at the meetings, and we'd kind of share off duties. And I still remember being at the Harley meeting probably 15 years ago. Oh gosh, no, more than 15 years ago. It's probably 20-some years ago, and our girls were sitting there with coloring books on the floor, and we're putting the orders in to do what we're doing, and they remember that. They remember that whole thing, and they know, I guess, what we put into it over the years and the passion. And I say, to me, them seeing this, it makes me very thankful. You know what, how long we keep this dynamic together with them doing it and being involved. I'm hoping it lasts a while. But I also want them to do what they want to do and what makes them happy too.
Welcome to the Driven Dad Podcast, where we celebrate dads that live with passion and lead with purpose. On this show, we'll host some dads that live incredible lives. Being a dad is the most important job you'll ever have. Get inspired by our amazing guest dads that refuse to live life in mediocrity and live epic lifestyles with their families. All right, guys, welcome back to the Driven Dad Podcast. Today's guest is Larry Northrup, owner of Toys for Big Boys and co-owner of Harley-Davidson Moncton. Born into the power sport industry, Larry has spent his life building, riding, and growing the family business while staying deeply rooted in the community and family. He's a proud husband, dad of 3 daughters, daily fitness guy, world traveler, and someone who truly lives the lifestyle he sells. This is a conversation about passion, resilience, and building something that lasts. Larry, welcome to the Driven Dad Podcast.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's absolutely my pleasure. So let's jump right into it. You were born into the motorsport family business.
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate. I guess one thing I always say, my father started the business in 1968, and I was born in 69. So I always say he started both projects about the same time.
That's funny. That's funny. I remember, so I love motorsports since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. My dad had snowmobiles, ATVs. And I remember going into your store probably in 1994, let's say, something like that. And there was this kitty cat, little mini skidoo on top of a pop machine. Yeah. I remember that like clear as day. Yeah. I wanted that thing so bad.
And it probably sitting on I know exactly where it was sitting at the time, because it was sitting probably on the right-hand side of the showroom, and I know exactly where the pop machine was. And yeah. No.
It's crazy. And it's crazy to think about what the shop looked like back then and what you guys have built today, right? So walk us through that whole thing, like from when your dad started it to what it is today.
Well, I mean, like I say, for me, it's amazing having the opportunity to do what I do and do what I love. And you know what, my dad and my mom, 1968, my father working for the CNR and machinist by trade, passionate in the snowmobiles, dirt bikes, like everything like that. He just loved product like that. Started at our home on Bell Street, just down the street from where Toys is today. You know what, the garage we worked on stuff. Our basement was a parts room / showroom for clothing, whatever we were selling at the time. You know, the front yard was a showroom, and I still remember the snowmobiles being out there in the pictures, because I was too young because we were at Toys, the new building pretty soon after that, and the front yard being snowmobiles and this for sale and you name it. So he looked at an old Imperial Oil station up the street, and with my grandmother's help, was able to buy it and start what everybody realizes as Toys for Big Boys today. So and for me, my dad grown through the years, a lot of different brands, a lot of things come and go, consistent brands like Honda and Harley-Davidson over the years, long-term brands for us. It's been phenomenal, and those relationships over the years have been great too as well. So, and I was very fortunate to be able to keep those relationships going throughout my career in the business as much as my father did too. So, like say for me, my dad, my mom, that started the business and keeping it going. I wish my dad was here today to still enjoy it with me, but fortunate. In 2006, my dad passed away just after we opened up our new store, and but he was yeah. I still carries me with you every day. I still understand everything, all the trials and tribulations of what we do every day. They his words always come back to me on everything he said to me. My father's key words always said, "The school of hard knocks is the best teacher, but sometimes the price of tuition is a little dear."
Mm.
And I think of that every day. Every time I do something a little wrong or try something, it doesn't quite work out. I go, "Yep, you taught me again." So, yeah, very, very lucky. Very lucky.
I love that. I love that saying. I always say that the best, like people that tell me they're going to university or something because they want to start a business later on, I'm like, just start a business.
Yeah.
You'll learn all the things you need to know, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you say, the price of that tuition might be, steep some days,
Yeah.
but you will learn and you'll learn fast.
Yeah, you do. You do. And like say, schooling for myself and what I did and everything else, I enjoyed every aspect of it, but I did learn a lot from my dad. My father was like say a tradesman and everything else, but he understood business and he learned very quickly himself. He could look at an income statement as quick as anybody. That anybody went to university or had any type of college background. He was pretty good at picking an income statement and balance sheet apart.
Right. That's cool. So you were born in the business. Do you think that passion was instilled in you like from day one? Or was it something that, you were more passionate about on a leisure side first, and then it kind of trickled into, passion for the business afterwards?
Yeah, I would say my passion was riding dirt bikes. I mean, or anything that I could get my hands on. I was probably my father's first nightmare at times because I broke a lot of things. I had a lot of fun. Rode dirt bikes, started racing at a young age. Doing that, traveling around, doing that was fun. But just riding the backyard, like getting home from school and hopping on my dirt bike and going for a ride was just what I did every day. And we were lucky where I lived up where Toys is today. I just lived down the street, so just on the Salisbury Road, there was a pit behind us. There was a marsh down there. We could come and go, and well, not a lot of supervision back then when I was younger. That was a few years ago, so we just went out and had fun, and a lot of friends and stuff that rode, and still ride with them today. We did same guys I used to ride with. So we did the Labrador Highway this year, and you know what? I'm very fortunate, like to grow up in the industry. My passion for the industry has got to do with my passion for the products and what we sell. And if it's riding a Harley and going down to going down to Laconia, or going just to go for a good ride, and or hop on an adventure bike and doing this, or hop on a dirt bike, just love motorcycles.
One of my favorite things about people that own certain businesses is when the people really live the lifestyle of that business. And this is like, you're a great example of your passion and your love for it on a personal level really transpires into your business, where you become kind of the for lack of a better term, like the poster boy of your target client, right? Like you really live the lifestyle of your business. You still enjoy going out, like you said, on your Harley or on your motocross, or you just talked to me about grooming your trails in the backyard. Like you live the lifestyle. And I think people buy into that. They buy into you, right? They go to your store because you have good products, but they also go to your store because you understand them.
Yeah. And we try to instill that in the people that work. Like, we enjoy everything we sell. We use it, we like say ride it, and the people that are with us do the same. You know what? It's a great business to be in. The passion for it is, I love what we do. Sometimes I'd like to do it more often. Just you don't get the time to put the miles that you want to do, or get out in the bike that you do like you used to. And some of my best summers of the fact is when I actually, we talked about earlier, is got to make that time, got to schedule that time. And when I did, I was like, wow, this was a really, positive thing for me mentally, physically, and being part of the business. So you get those excitements are, you can't get them back. Those are memories.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm so fortunate to share my daughters being part of the business and understanding that passion, and my wife. I just can't, having them part of what we do every day, at the Harley store or at Toys, is like, it's like a dream come true.
Talk to me more about that, because I was raised in a family where my mom worked with my dad in their business.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of people having like this kind of, pause, thinking like, how do you guys work together every single day and then come home and live together? And is there a divide, or where is that divide where the business does not become the conversation at the supper table?
It's tough. It's tough. Especially like when we opened the Harley store, it's really tough because there's a lot of like trying to bring one culture to another store is really tough, because you want that culture, because that's what made the success of that company or that brand in the company. So there's a lot of talk. We try to limit it as much as we can. And I probably try to shut it off quicker than anybody else, because I have like 3 amazing daughters that love the business, enjoy it. My oldest daughter, Kira, she's been since 12 years of age. She's been she's been there, and she's been very passionate about it. My middle daughter, Georgia, she worked on and off, and then she started working at the Harley store with us in the last few years. So it's been great to have her on board and learning that part of the industry. And then my youngest, Isabella, in accounting. So she's always worked for us, but she was she's always said she's going to work here. She's going to work here someday. She used to be the young little girl that used to be, they say the name tag police, because if people didn't have their name tag on, she was giving them a little bit of crap, I guess, when she was younger, 6 or 7 years old. But yeah, it's a balance, and it's not easy. It's not easy by any means, but it's rewarding in ways that we work well as a team, and as a family. Even though it's tough, it's rewarding in some ways, because there's some things it gives us time that we may need. Because my wife and I can say, okay, we are going to go do this now, because I guess we've taken the time that we want to do different things, that if we were both working separate jobs, the time might not have aligned, or we've got to do different things through work, gone to meetings, gone to this, and enjoyed some special time. I was very fortunate with my family, as being some of our fondest trips that we've had is going on a trip for a meeting. And well, it's hard to get babysitters, so the girls would come with us, and I would be at the meetings, and Leslie would be at the meetings, and we'd kind of share off duties. And I still remember being at the Harley meeting probably 15 years ago. Oh gosh, no, more than 15 years ago. It's probably 20-some years ago. And our girls were sitting there with coloring books on the floor, and we're putting the orders in to do what we're doing. And they remember that. They remember that whole thing, and they know, I guess, what we put into it over the years and the passion. And I say, to me, them seeing this, it makes me very thankful. You know what, how long we keep this dynamic together with them doing it and being involved. I'm hoping it lasts a while. But I also want them to do what they want to do and what makes them happy too. Because as they grow as young women, there's a lot of things change in everybody's world, and they're growing up and doing things. So I hope they keep on and being part of it, because I love having them every day. It's exciting. It's good. But we definitely have a bit of a balance, but we just work at it daily. Yeah. And that's, I guess, you got a marriage, you got your family, and then you got a business. But being able to separate those things is a balance act every day, and you do have to work at it. It's like a marriage; you have to work at it every day, and this adds another level to it.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I love everything you just said. It's so cool that you got your daughters involved on a higher level of like actually, bringing them in the store on a regular basis, bringing them to meetings like for Harley Davidson meetings, let's say, and stuff like that. Because oftentimes I think we tend to put a divide there because it's just, obviously it's easier to go to the Harley meeting without them. It's way easier, right? No less distractions and stuff like that. But I see that as a really, really cool opportunity. Although they're not like actually understanding what you guys are saying or doing at the moment. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years later, that's valuable. Like it's like you said, they seen what you guys put into the business, the passion you guys had. And then they realize like, wow, like mom and dad brought us to that meeting. Like, they did everything they had to do to go to that meeting, to keep their business going, to keep their business growing. It's like the lessons and the things that they're going to look back on 10, 15, 20, 30 years later are invaluable, right?
Yeah, it's incredible, and I'm always so proud of my girls, just for who they are. They're good people. The biggest thing with them too is like they were younger. I remember one of the trips we took them to Nashville. We said, okay, we'll make a summer trip out of going to the meeting, and we drove down and we had a great trip, and we stopped, did a few things on the way, but seeing how they interacted, I used to have a great distributor, Dealey Harley Davidson for Canada. Used to be a distributor for Harley Davidson in the States, actually took it over. And Don James and Malcolm Hunter, they were the president and CEO, and bringing them to the meeting, and they're like, you're bringing the girls over. And I think they were that type of people. So, cool. And them sitting there talking to them and interacting, and as at a young age, I mean, gosh, Kira she would have probably grade 9 or 10. And I look at that and go, wow, like so proud of them for what they've learned by going to these things about how to relate to people and how it was a good culture experience for them. I mean, the motorcycle industry is not very cultured probably, but great people. But they learned a lot about interacting with people. Understanding.
Right. And obviously you have to know this. I know you're an incredibly humble person, but everything you just said, how you're proud of your daughters and stuff, that comes all from you guys, right? And the moment that I met you a few years ago, and I was doing work for you, but you were treating me as, at minimum as an equal, and you're a very accomplished and someone that I would look up to in the community. And I think just the way that you treated me shows me why you've raised, daughters like you have today.
And I gotta hand the raising part of it to my wife. She's the glue. She's the one. She's the one that makes things happen. But yeah, she's and it's a team effort, but she was the team lead for sure. But yeah, I love people, and we've always taught our girls to say like, hey, you know what? One of my things I always talk about is life is about people. In those relationships that you have with people, make a big difference. So, you know what? When you approach somebody, you're part of somebody, like it's a person, and everybody's got a life, and how they choose to live their life and what they try to do, that's up to them. But how you relate to them is more so is just, I don't know. Everybody's equal, no matter what in my world. And like I say, just I really enjoy people. I guess that's probably my.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that when you talk to you, right?
Yeah.
Going back to the business a little bit, I've had I have the tendency to turn personal passions into businesses, is essentially monetizing personal passions. And I've had it be positive experiences, and I've also had it happen where my personal passion was extinguished by the business because it became all about the business, and the passion kind of faded away through, the challenges and the tough stuff that comes with the business. I was just basically like burnt out, and the passion just kind of faded away, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that since, you're saying that motorsports is your passion? Like, have you ever felt like personally some days or some years were more challenging, and like the passion side, you kind of lost sight of it?
Yeah, it's tough. You always have a lot of different things that happen over the years. You had COVID, you had this, some major challenges in my life have been losing my dad, trying to pick up the pieces, work with my stepmother at the time, and putting agreements together. And it's so hard because I worked with my stepfather, working with my dad and my stepmother as much as I did over the years. It was at a different level when I trying to make everything work. Very positive interactions, everything else, but it's a challenge, especially when it's not just a business transaction; it's personal. So that was a tough thing in my life. Moving forward into COVID, that was another tougher time frame. But one thing I enjoyed about COVID was my family time. And my family time, and then having more downtime. We were always involved in events and doing things like the motocross thing. Like it's a lot of time that's taken of mine personally to be involved in that as much as I am with the motocross, stuff like that. But that getting scaled back a little bit got me a chance to enjoy the riding more, getting back at it and everything else. I'm an old man now, but I still enjoy throwing my leg over a dirt bike and going for a good rip. Luckily enough, I have a little track in my backyard, and a couple of people that I ride with, and
Sweet.
one young guy, Nathan, good buddy of mine. He's quite a bit. Well, he's same age as my oldest daughter, Kira, and he pushes me all the time. He's kind of one of the guys around and pushes me to say, "Hey, we're going riding today. We're doing this," and he pushed me pretty hard then, and we get out at least once a week and do it, and a lot of fun. But you know what? Say the passion and the time. I would say I loved COVID in that sense that I had the time. But as far as the business side, it's a little tougher. But the passion side, sometimes you don't lose it, but sometimes you do forget a little bit. And how do you try to get that back? And you're always a cheerleader in the business and trying to make sure this all happens because you got so many people around you. So that passion, if people don't feel you having the passion, it makes it hard for them to, that culture in your dealership and everything else, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
So getting out riding, hopping on a Harley, hopping on my dirt bike, or hopping on my African Twin and going across Labrador, it just instills me, wow, this is why I do it. This is why I enjoy it. Peter McFarland, our general manager at Toys, been with us for 25 years, and his comment is like, sometimes we just got to take the time to do what we enjoy and what we loved, what brought us into this business. And him and I talk about that quite often. It's like, yeah, sometimes we just got to start to enjoy that side of it, because there's a lot of things in our business that are a lot of fun. And getting back to the basics. Sometimes we just reset, and we do, and that's the fun part.
It's so easy to get just lost in the day-to-day, like, checklist, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy to justify, like, I don't have time,
Yeah.
I have to do this. But it's like you say, sometimes, like Friday afternoon, you know what? Screw that. That can wait till Monday.
Yeah.
I'm going for a ride, and then everything's better, right? After, and it doesn't matter if it's a ride or a run or a bike ride or whatever you like, whatever gets you that mental fix, right? Of resetting everything. You feel better after, your stress level goes down. You show up better for everyone else at work, at home. Just makes you a better person.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely that mental side of it, just getting out and doing that, and sometimes we schedule that, like when we do our event rides or this because we like going, okay, let's get out, we're doing this, we're setting up our own schedules for the summer now and saying, okay, we're going to get back to the basics and on certain ride nights and this and that. So when you schedule those, you go, okay, I'm going. But then when you get done, you go, it was like, okay, you got the event ready, you did this, but then you went out and participated and been involved. That makes a big difference because you go, yeah, it was just nice. Nice to get out and do it. Even sometimes an hour or two, whatever. It's just nice to get a bit of a break that way.
Yeah. And it's like we were saying earlier, like people feel it when you're involved in the community and you're living the lifestyle, right? And it's such an easy thing to do. Like it's even fun for you to be a part of it.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's easy to say like, I got to stay back and, take care of business type of thing.
It's hard. And you always got to make sure that, business has to be taken care of, and which is very, very, very important. But it's fun to realize why you're doing it every day. And that's what you have to do. Sometimes you just got to reset, and it's a kick in the butt to me sometimes when I don't, and I just like, okay, I gotta start doing something I enjoy. I just got back from California. There in January, we're there for Fox meetings. My old Sadakir and Leslie and myself, and so one of the days was a ride day at Fox, and I was like, I could have opted out of that ride day, but go to the Fox Raceway at Palo and be able to ride a few laps and stuff like that was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. Trying some of the gear and everything else, and you know what? Sometimes you do stuff like that, and you go, geez, why don't I do that more at home? Why don't I just
100%.
do this more often?
That's the stuff you remember, right? You don't remember the work you did later on that day. You remember that ride at that track.
Yeah, you do. And it's, and Leslie is probably, my wife is probably the best one to kind of give me that kick in the butt once in a while. And she's like, yes, you got to do that. Yes, you got to do that. She's probably the one that's advocate for me enough to always be that one to say, you got to get out and do this. Don't put off this here. Go do it. And I got to thank her for that, because that is one of those things that, she pushed me to Labrador last year. One of my best buddies, Steven, has been, he texts me every day. Leslie texts me every day because I was like, I couldn't go because I had this going on at work and this. And then they pushed me and made it. Yeah, they pushed me. They both pushed me pretty hard, but Leslie is one of those people in my life that just makes me who I am.
It's so valuable to have the right partner, pushing you to essentially to be happy, right?
Yeah.
To do the things that make you happy.
Yeah.
And in the end, when you support each other that way, like everyone's happier. If you're happier, your wife's happier, and vice versa.
It goes both ways, and I say very, very lucky, and very fortunate to have her in my life.
In the past 3 or 4 years, you've had to separate a part of your dealership. Yeah. So Harley Davidson kind of became its own entity.
Yeah.
Bring us through that kind of story and like what challenges that brought upon you.
Yeah, like it was a big undertaking type of thing. The the idea of splitting the dealership up and the team at Toys, but the work and effort they did into it, separating the business side of it, the inventory, this. So very big undertaking that way. We did it in stages. We did a move first. There was, of course, it's the building side of it and the construction side of it, being down there so often and working at this and trying to get this ready. That's the excitement part of it, which is, at the kind of, it's like Christmas, right? You're like, oh, we're building this up till Christmas Day. Then we, the move, big move, moving everything over, getting it over, doing the physical side. And then having the team on both sides, dividing the team up was tough. Moving people that have been together for 20, 30 years, 10 years, 5, whatever. This team that was, like clockwork. a lead like Peter McFarland, my general manager, having having the pulse on everything that was going on, everything else, and him being able to work with us every day was phenomenal. Especially because my time being when I'm under construction was tough. Having Leslie and the girls being involved as much as they were for this whole transaction, phenomenal team. And then the crew itself, like I could not thank them enough of their time and effort. I mean, God, we had all the team from both stores, the move day, the opening day, like they rocked it. It was tough. It was tough to break those people apart. To say, okay, you're here now, and that's where they wanted to be. But after the fact, after they get into this transition stage and do this, it's you can tell resources. What you used to have in this resource, now you don't have this resource or this extra body, everything else, because you got basically 2 smaller dealerships now.
Right.
But physically, the physical overhead is doubled. So now it's over the last couple of years, just trying to make it all work and you're sitting there thinking of the mental side of it, the people and everything else. And now it's the business side of it. How does everything work? How does everything, the expenses keep on coming in. It's been a chore. It's definitely been a chore, and it's been one of the things in my life that is probably being a little tougher. I have a friend of mine from the island. He took his dealership. He took 2 and put it into 1, and I went the opposite way. I took 1 and divided it in 2, and took a minority partner on with this. So having a small partner in this is a little different than, and then renting is different than owning, and some things like that are a little more of a challenge that you don't think about, right? You think about things that, a lot of different dynamics. But really, it's been a eye opener for me on a lot of ways on business and everything else. It's made me a better business person, because I tell you, before this here, I would run off the seat of my pants because we knew the business so well as it was. We knew everything so well. Like you could tell by feel. You could tell by feel what was sold, what was this. You could really feel that. Somebody asked me how much we sold that month or whatever. I could kind of tell you in a good indication. Now it's like, okay, now we really got to break things apart.
Systemize stuff.
Yeah. In the team process was key and still is today. And instilling in processes is a big part of the whole thing and the success of the business, no matter what business you're into. And process makes life easier for people at the end, because with good process is good practice. So that's some of the key aspects that we look at to try to make it successful, so everyone has a better life. You don't want to be cleaning everybody else's mess up, as I always say. But it's like I say, exciting times for me making that move. But it's still a work in progress every day. I always say, you get people kind of come in and talking, and like people you've worked with over the years, and some of the people have been with you for a long time. They go, yeah, like we have Christmas parties together, and we share with the teams.
I was wondering if you guys did.
So we do that, and it's to me, it's just a chance for old friends to meet up again.
Yeah.
Even though they work, a lot of times they'll interact with each other quite often during the day, and then there's new people that come on board. So, and the new friends are meeting some new people from the other store, and it's a nice bit of a culture that way. And some of the people have been around going, yeah, remember the old days when we were all together? And you hear that and you kind of go, yeah, it was a bit easier, wasn't it? But I say, I love what I do every day. And what I enjoy about the business is the involvement of the business and how it, the change and everything else, but how, in a lot of ways tries to make me a better business person as that side of it goes. But trying to be a better business person so that I'm not, we talked about process. We talked about accountability, things like that are so important. And
Sometimes when you get faced with a challenge, it kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone and then forces you to, adapt all those new habits.
totally. And that's probably for me is more being a better business person, being a better, trying to be a better, like, I don't know. You always want to try to be better as a person, as a boss, as a friend. And, that's always my balance, is trying to be all those things. And sometimes you can't, but you know what? I got to live with myself every day. So I'm the type of person, I guess, and the end of the day is like, I want to be the better person at the end of the day. Not always the better boss, not always the better friend, but the better person. Because being the better person, sometimes you have to make tough decisions, but you're making tough decisions for the people around the big picture, not always one or two individuals, but the big picture of the whole thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really good perspective.
That's kind of how, and I'll relate back to Peter, because him and I work quite closely, and on that side of it too as well. And it's like, you know what, it's always a comment is like, some of those tough decisions are good for everybody, and they're tough to make. But when you do, there's relief for everybody too.
Right.
So, you know what, like say for me, I'm just happy to be trying to be that person. And I can't always be the boss. I can't always be the friend, but I can try to be the better person.
I love that. You guys are really involved in the community, like in the greater Moncton community. One that sticks out for me every single year, because I'm always there, is the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
And I think I may have sent you a message even this year, because, and it kind of revolves back around like our whole conversation here and everything you're about and what you stand for. But when your float passed by, your whole family was in the float.
Yeah.
And a lot of your employees and their family too. But for me, the reason I had messaged you was it's not just like Toys for Big Boys, like a name on the side of a trailer or a truck or whatever. It's like Larry's in the float, on the float, and your wife and your 3 daughters and your actual staff and their family. And you feel the passion and the involvement and the importance of you giving back to your community. Like it's a small thing, but it's a big thing, right? Because businesses that get personally involved like that in the community it's what forms the community. I was just having a conversation yesterday with a local business owner, and he owns an ice cream shop, Lost and Found Ice Cream.
Okay.
And we were discussing how, like, yes, he runs a business. Yes, he is for profit. However, he is giving back to the community in the sense of creating a meeting point, like a social point where people can gather, enjoy good food, good ice cream, have conversations. And I feel like that's what you're creating in your own sense, where it's like, yes, you have a business. Yes, it's for profit. You need to make money and all that. But the driving factor is way deeper than that. And it's like your involvement in the community is very important to you, and the impact you have on the people indirectly is very important. And like, whether it's, getting someone interested in riding dirt bikes, or because that can set someone off on, like, it can change someone's life, right? Like a small action, just being involved in the community, you can make a difference in someone's life that you'll never even know about, right? It's a small difference that can make a big difference.
And I guess we've always done it because we've always enjoyed it, enjoyed being part of things. If it's going to the track and teaching kids to ride, or to, setting things up for events, or setting tents up for juvenile diabetes walk, or do muscular dystrophy, or whatever it's a charity could be, Santa Claus parade. And a good friend of mine, Steve Richardson, met him years ago through muscular dystrophy. And, I look at his giving in the community and what he did, and we kind of always been there and been involved, but he's helped me to open some doors to be able to give more and be able to more support. The city of Moncton and the surrounding community of Riverview, Dieppe, and everything else they're always so fantastic to work with because of these events they put on, the time and effort they put into it. So trying to give back to those people and those committee members. I sit on I'm very fortunate to, Steve got me involved in the Santa Claus Parade Committee. So I sit on the board there with them, and it's unbelievable people and everyday people that are just working and trying to make a better thing in their community. That is inspiration to everybody for what they do. When I look at people that put the time and effort in, or you go out to do something, and you know what, it's infectious. If I could say that. It's you love being involved, and the parade is one of my things I just enjoyed. My father got me involved years ago and helping him put floats in and doing that, and we always try to step it up every year with something. And the funnest part of the parade is we do tailgating beforehand, and we're cooking hot dogs for people, doing this and doing that and making hot chocolate or what have you. It's a lot of fun, but I always tell people it's looking at from the inside out, and you see the people in the street and you look at their faces, and for some people that is Christmas. That's what they're going to have for Christmas, being that part of that Christmas. And some don't have a lot, but they can go to the parade and be this one little boy, little girls. They're all the same. Everybody's equal, right? And it's so cool. And to see looking around you, and you look at the people in the streets, and I always have like the visions. Leslie and I talked about this after the parade, and we going, wow, did you see? And a lot of new people to Canada, new Canadians that are coming in and being a part of that and seeing that, and the looks on their faces and the enjoyment.
They've never seen that before, right?
They've never seen it. And
true.
And her and I are sitting there walking in front of the parade, and we're like, it's such a warm feeling that you just never, you're very, very lucky to be able to participate and be involved, but to live in communities that embrace that. People do want to help and support. We're lucky to live in the community that we live in with Moncton, Riverview, and Dieppe, and the great surrounding areas, that there are so many good things that go on that people can get involved in. And I'm just lucky to be involved and lucky to be asked, or trying to make a difference, because I think and trying to instill that in the people, like my daughters, or even people we work with every day, is trying to show people that this is a good thing, and they do it, and they support it, and they're like, wow, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's extremely important to like be the leader, to show other people like, yes, we are making a difference here. And just your perspective of saying like, looking from the outside in, where like you're on the float and you're seeing kids' faces.
Yeah.
That's when I never even thought about that perspective, right? Because I've always been on the other side, but that's when you realize like what we're doing right now, we're not only just, showcasing our business or whatnot, we're actually changing people's lives around Christmas right now. And like you said, might be the best thing that happens to some families for Christmas time.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting perspective. And I think those things in our community kind of shape the vibe of our community, right? Like the more things, not only the Christmas parade, but it could be like just, community events. I've been to one of your events at your dealership when kids could try mini dirt bikes for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was a free event. I'm pretty sure like it's something that you guys put on to invite people in your store and, try the sport and share your love. And it's like I said, those types of things shape the community and can definitely shape someone's lives early on.
Yeah. I mean, where did that passion start?
Mm-hmm.
And where did your passion start for, no matter what it is? I mean, for you, like for you, mountain biking, bicycling in general, where did that passion start? But you always remember where the passion starts.
Mm.
Earl Doucette, one of my partners at Riverglade, 10 years he taught Junior Red Rider, our program we support and everything else at Riverglade, and teaching kids to ride and everything else. And the kids is still run by him that could be 10 years ago they took the course. I still call him coach, but they remember him and the impact he had. And he was telling me the story. He said it was his high school reunion, and he said, "You know what? This gentleman is quite a character anyway, but he's telling stories about all the people around him. There was doctors, there was this there at the reunion, and he's telling stories about his kids in the Junior Red Rider and his experiences and everything else. And he just had a big crowd around him telling these stories. But these kids remember, and they remember him. That's the guy that taught me how to ride.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy that got me into this. That's the guy that made the difference." And we have Earl's transitioned. We have another couple that are doing it now, Sam and Amanda. And their passion for it is phenomenal. But they also, they know where their passion started. And I know for me, where my passion started, riding a dirt bike and those inspirational people. Or it could be a street bike, could be this, it could be swimming, could be whatever it is. But everybody remembers that time. What was that? What was that time, and what was that moment? And we're so thankful that we can be a part of that to hopefully give people those moments.
Yeah, it's crazy how it just takes a little moment or one phrase sometimes, and that sets you off on that path, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you just buy that motocross 10 years later or that bike 10 years later, but it's still that moment where it's like, when I was young, I wanted a mini dirt bike so freaking bad, but we lived in the city, so not a lot of space to ride it unless we trailered it or whatever. But I would ride a motocross when I was on the highway in my parents' car. I would dream ride a motocross on the side of the highway all the time. I would jump in my head on the little bumps and stuff. But eventually 10, 15 years later, I went the four-wheeler route. I bought my first ATV, racer style ATV. But I can't remember that exact moment in time. Probably when I, went window shopping in your store at 5 years old. Yeah. Where it's like, this is sick. I want one of these, right? Yeah. And from then on, it's like concrete. It's happening. I don't know when, but it's happening.
Yeah. It was so funny. I think it was last Friday night. I was sitting there. Leslie and I were walking out of the Harley, and a mom was. We were closed and stuff, and this mom was driving by in the front of the store, and she rolled down the window. Her son was in the back seat. He was in the car seat, and so we were sitting there, and she goes, "Oh, he just loves the bikes." And so we were just like, "Oh my God!" It was so cool to see. But that happens more times than enough when you think about somebody that has that passion, and just that rolling down the window. She slows down. It's just her with her son, and she rolls the window down so he can look at the bikes and sees them in the front window.
It's awesome.
And it's cool because that is, I love those stories because, and it's great to see that, people still have that passion and something they want to do. And they, like you said, you're sitting there in the car and you visualize yourself like, hey, I'm riding my dirt bike right over here. And I was a daydreamer in school too, so I can relate.
I always say though, when you dream of something and you continuously keep thinking about it, I'm a huge vision board guy. I have my vision board right there. Yeah. I can't explain the magic to you, but I can tell you that it happens. When you think of it, when you talk about it to people, if I tell you I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to get this, I don't know always how it's going to happen. I don't know, where I get the money exactly. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I can tell you if you're a dreamer, if you continuously talk about it, think about it, tell people about it, it'll happen. I'm a believer in that.
Oh yeah. Wholeheartedly. Matt, and we all have goals and objectives, and how do you hit those goals and objectives? It's daily,
Mhm.
and your vision board is a great reminder of exactly what you want, like your values, your things you want to do. Like if it's a family trip or it's this or what have you, or it could be just something for yourself. It's
Mhm.
those visions are so important.
Mhm. 100%. My wife and I I surprised my wife on her birthday 2 years ago, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago, and she doesn't have any tattoos.
Okay.
And she's always said, like, I would get one, but I could never choose what I would get.
Yeah.
She's too indecisive, right? So I make this appointment for us to both get a tattoo, and I don't tell her until when we're driving there. I'm like, okay, I'll tell you where we're going. We're going to get a tattoo. And she's like, no, what? Like,
Awesome.
I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm like, I already decided. I know what you're going to get. We're going to get the exact same one. And we got our family right
Yeah.
here, and I told her, like, you're getting this here. That's like, you don't have a choice. It's going here because the purpose is a continuous reminder every single day to always see this and always have that as the priority, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, like, that's never going to change. It's not
No.
like a thing of this time right now. It doesn't matter how old the kids are. I always, or we always want to have them as a priority when we're making big decisions, when we're, busy, when we're, any time in life. As you already know, I
Yeah.
know I don't have to,
Yeah.
talk you into this, but they're always going to be the deciding factor for every decision that we make. And I'm a huge fan of just having that daily
Yeah.
reminder.
It's great. That's awesome and fantastic because no matter how old your kids get, they're still your kids,
Mm.
and they're always going to be that way. And yeah, that's an awesome reminder. That's a, you know what, and I can imagine every day when you look at that, it's like a little grin, a little smile.
Some pride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that kind of subject, you having older daughters, I have no experience with this yet, but what would you say would be a good tip for, like, to continue having a good relationship? Because I think it's easier to have a good relationship with your kids when they're younger. As they grow older, they need more independence. They become their own person. There's boyfriends, girlfriends that come in the
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
They essentially create their own life.
Yeah.
What would be a tip that you have to keep that strong relationship as they get in those stages?
And you know what? I'm a work in progress. I'll say that because I wish I had some answers or love is always the key in caring for those people and those relationships. You know what? My girls, I say to me, they're my world. And same as Leslie, our family is that's the world to me every day. Waking up and wanting to. Sometimes you get clouded with different objectives and things you have to do during the day, and but to try to take time. And I'm guilty. I'm very guilty of not taking enough time. Work gets in the way. This happens, but um, when I do take the time, and we take the time and talk and go through things, it is important. But to take the time when it's good for both of you is the key. Um, Everybody, you know what? It's tough. It's tough as priorities change. Everyone's got a different. I mean, I live with. I mean, my girls are all at home right now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. They could stay right till they're 50. I'm fine with that. That's fine with me. Leslie may have a different story, but but at the end of the day, I love having them around and enjoy them every day. Um, but the tough things as everyone gets older, opinions and right. I mean, I live with well four adults. We're not responsible for their happiness anymore, like they were when the kids and stuff like that. It's just where everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different. We share a lot of similar values, which makes life easier. But I for me, it's a work in progress every day. And it's one of my things that I work at and try to get better at. And Leslie does a really good job at trying to keep me in line to be like, yeah, to be that better person, and try to help me to be a better dad, and take that one-on-one time. And I don't do it often enough, but if I was to give anybody advice, is take more time and have that more one-on-one time, because we are individuals, right? And to take that time and to spend that effort will be the testimony of your relationship with your kids. In my case, my girls. We have a lot of fun. We laugh. We joke with each other. We do this, but sometimes it's just a drive, and we go do this or doing this, and we are picking something up. And sometimes you get the chance to sit and talk and see how things are going with them, and advise them or talk to them. And sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't, but it's okay. But I'm guilty of the fact is not doing it often enough. So if I was to give anybody advice, just do it more often. Have that time and spend it.
I like the fact that you highlighted that they're all their own individuals too. And I often think about that because I have a boy and a girl. They're twins. So you like automatically assume that they're very similar, and they are in some ways, but they're also extremely different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And their love language is different.
Yeah.
Their interests are different. If I want to take my little guy biking, that's like our thing, that's he has fun. Like he's going to ask me to go. If I ask my daughter to go biking, she's going to come, she's going to like it, but that's not like her thing. Right.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be considerate of like what brings joy to them and what's a valuable moment for them, or like a good bonding moment. Right.
Yeah.
And so I really like that highlight, and like thinking like, as individuals, what's quality time for them. And as they get older, I'm assuming that it's going to get more obvious, right? Like right now, I'm still figuring out what they like. They're still figuring out what they like. But when they get older, you probably get to know them and know like, what works for them, what they really enjoy.
Yeah, it is so important, because sometimes you have to reinvent yourselves a little bit that way to what works for you, is because you know what, everybody goes through different stages in life, right? So is getting to know your children again as an adult more so than as a child. And like all my girls are different. And like my youngest, Isabella, she always says, and Leslie always says, she's the boy you never had, because I'll be she's strong as an ox, man. Oh man, we got to go do something. Bella's come give me a hand. We're gonna do this. And, but we relate to each other that way,
right?
And that relationship for us is nice. We're going to do something. We're going to help somebody or move this around or whatever we're going to do, or set up something, or you name it. We get that relationship, and sometimes she can just understand what my next move is going to be,
right? Which
is great. It's phenomenal. And sometimes business, sometimes personal wise, like, you know what, I'm very fortunate. My girls are fantastic with me. It's like Christmas time, for instance, and Dad, I got you covered. You pick up the stuff and I'll get it wrapped up for you. Whatever it is, it's just certain things like that. But Kira, my oldest, is like, oh yeah, I'll do this and get this, but they understand, and and they need help with this, or I need help with something. They're very giving people, and being able to relate to them the way, it's tough, but it's rewarding. It's so rewarding. Like, cause I think every one of our, like you said, with your son and your daughter, is you're still trying to figure that relationship out, but you'll never stop. You'll never stop, because things will change in their life or anything else. But it's neat that you developing those things, that this is who we are together. Your son, yourself, going out bicycling, being part of that, and your daughter and you doing this. It's your thing, and I guess the thing is, you want to find out what that thing is, and you want to make sure you take time to do it.
Yeah. I have to ask you, do your daughters share your love for motorsports?
They do. They enjoy them. It's so funny. They enjoy the aspects. They enjoy they enjoy everything about it. They enjoy the events, putting things on, doing and being part of it. My youngest daughter will enjoy going snowmobile and ATVing, things like that. Not as much the motorcycle. George, my middle daughter, she likes riding bikes and stuff like that, be involved in that. And Kira is the one that she is the one that likes to be involved in putting things together. She's the one that, and it's one of my biggest enjoyments, putting events on and seeing people enjoy themselves. And I guess that's why I like it with the parade, or if I put a motocross race on or do this or whatever it is. I enjoy people seeing that, and for her is seeing people enjoying it and being part of that thing that people are enjoying. She gets a lot out of it. And that's, but she understands the people very well.
Right.
She'll ride once in a while or do this or go snowmobiling or go ATVing and things like that, or on the side by sides or what have you. And she enjoys that part of it too. But I think her passion on her side is like that involvement of being, my sister said it the other day, I was getting the snowmobile geared up for her and stuff like that. She was going to snowmobiling, and she said, I think Larry enjoys getting this ready for me to go more than he would himself. And I said, yeah, she was talking to my Kira, my oldest daughter, and Kira's very similar to me that way, that we just enjoy that.
But I think it's because you know the joy that it's going to bring to those people, right?
Yeah.
Like you felt it. You feel it on a regular basis.
Totally.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. That's a cool thought to have.
It's nice to, be part of that, to make somebody else's happiness. Like, you know what I mean? That joy is fantastic. And I just enjoy it. And very fortunate.
And that's it's essentially your business, right? Like the people pay for it, but you're essentially selling that feeling, that happiness.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, if you can take a new rider out on a bike, or take a couple buddies out and a couple side by sides, and you go for the weekend and you go for a little ride and do this, they get back and go, wow, this was a lot of fun. And you're sharing your passion. And those relationships are fantastic. And you're enjoying something you've always enjoyed doing.
I always say, if I'd have 25 grand, I wouldn't buy the $25,000 Ski-Doo. I'd buy $5,000 Ski-Doo and then take the boys and go for a rip.
Hey, great way to look at it, because at the end of the day that makes a big difference. It's the pleasure you have enjoying something with other people is by far, having the very best of the best is great, but we don't have anybody to enjoy it with. That's why your family. So that's
what it's all about. Yeah. Relationships, totally. And just having plain old fun.
Yeah.
I think people look too far sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the good stuff is really closer than you think, right? It's just getting people together, doing simple stuff. You don't even need the sled, essentially. Just get around a bonfire. Yeah. Get some guitars out, have a good meal, just get people together. That's the real good stuff in life.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that we don't it's not about what you spent and what you did. It's a time together. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So before I let you go here, Larry, if we look at the big picture of what you've built here, both in your business and personally, and everything you do for your community or in your community, what's the legacy that you want to walk away with here when everything's said and done? How would you like to look back and, be proud of what you've done here?
I guess it's the legacy I've got. I believe I'm the caretaker of the legacy that I've tried to keep going. it's more my father's legacy. And I feel like I'm the caretaker of that over the time. That's why the passion of the industry, what I do, my girls, everything else. Yeah, I guess if, you know what, I guess the simple thing is if I'm left with anything at the end of the day is that somebody say, remember me, oh, he was a good guy. He was a good guy. That's all I want. And I want to be able to make sure that I don't want to do any harm to anybody. And if people said like, if I'm gone, it's 20 years from now, and somebody says, "Oh, I remember him. Yeah, he's a good guy."
Mm.
That's basically what I'm looking for. I don't want for a lot. I want for my family, and I want for my family to be proud of who I am and the person I am, and hopefully we can move that forward.
That's awesome. I love the answer. Well, Larry, thank you very much for being on the show. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here with me. And thank you also for being the influential leader that you are in the Greater Moncton community, and for, you know, all the things that you do to give back to your family, the community, and beyond. Once again, really appreciate you coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thank you.